Right guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm just going to be showing you how to remove and reinstall a SRAM dub front chain set. So that's a single chain ring, this happens to be, on a mountain bike with a dub bottom bracket. This is a threaded bottom bracket. So I'll go ahead, we'll run through the steps. Right, so the first thing I want to do is you come around to your non-drive side crank arm and just turn it round. As you see in here, you're looking for, there's a 2mm hex head, you can just see that there. And there'll be an arrow next to it to pointing it out. You might not be able to see it if yours got a lot of dirt on it or anything. So first thing I'm going to do is just undo that. So just crack that undone a few turns. So as it moves anti-clockwise like so. So just back that off like so till it stops, like so. Now we're ready to move on to the drive side. Right, so here we are on the drive side. Now what you need for this is an 8mm hex head, like so, Allen key. Now if you haven't had yours apart before, these can be tight to undo because they're tightened to 54 Newton meters, so they can be very tight to undo. So you need to get yourself, make sure you've got a good 2 foot 3 foot bar at least to undo it with. So they can be very tight and it's anti-clockwise to undo it. So you just locate the hex head in the centre there, make sure it's in all the way, you don't want it slipping, and then you can hold on to your crank arm and then just pull up on your bar and you should be able to undo it just about. So once it's cracked undone like so, then you can go ahead and then unthread it and the crank arm will come off as you're unthreading it, the bolt out the middle. So you go ahead, you can start undoing it if you can. If not, you might need a ratchet again to put on there just to undo it with. If it goes tight again, just undo it like so, and then carry on undoing it and it will come off like so. So there we have it. Now what you got to make sure of is check what space you've got, if any, on this. So you might have one here, you might not, depends on what frame you've got, what setup your bike is. They all could differ. So as you can see, there's plastic spacer there, so obviously bear that in mind, put it somewhere safe. We'll clean these parts up. Right, so now we've gone ahead and removed the crank arm and the chain ring there. Go ahead and just tap that back through so it comes out the non-drive side. So you just hold on to your crank arm, just give it a tap. And you can pull it on through. And there you have it there, non-drive side. The spindle through the middle. Right, so now we remove the cranks, we're ready to remove the bottom bracket. Now what you'll need for this is a tool such as this. It's a 12 spline tool there, as you can see. So that'll fit over the cup like so on there, and you can put a decent size bar in there or ratchet in the end. Makes it easier to remove it. So see, this is the non-drive side, so get that on there. And this side is obviously anti-clockwise to undo it, so you can just, once you've cracked it undone, you can just thread out the cup from the end. you can see there with the plastic collar in the middle, spacer in the middle there. So ready, I'll move around, I'll do the drive side. Right, so here we are on the drive side. Now the drive side is clockwise, is undoing it on the drive side. So put your tool on there, push down on it clockwise, crack it undone, and you just wind the cup out. And then once you've done that, once that's out, you're ready to clean up your bottom bracket area there of any old grease and grime that's in there. Give that a thorough clean. Right, so when you cleaned up your bottom bracket area thoroughly there and all the threads and everything, and you're happy with that, you're ready to go ahead and install your new bottom bracket. Now, see the middle spacer there in the middle, plastic one, is marked left and right. So you can pull this apart and it's marked up left and right, and so are the cups. They've got an R and an L on them for left and right. So you can take this apart like so, and what you want to do is, there's no ring on the end of there, there's no ring on there, so make sure you put some grease around them, and then the grease inside of here in the cup, run some grease around inside there, and same in the opposite cup. So what I'll do is, obviously we're starting on the drive side here, so the right hand side we're doing first. So what I'll do is put some grease around the outside of the O-ring there, like so, just help it go together. And like I said, inside the cup, just put some grease around in there as well, like so, and then push that onto there, like so. Then what you want to do is make sure you've greased the threads in there, and also while you've got the bottom bracket out, put some grease on the opposite side as well. Just makes it easier to do it now, because when the plastic piece goes through, it's harder to get at the threads on the non-drive side. Just grease those up thoroughly, and then just put a smear of grease around the thread on the actual cup itself, like so. And you're ready to go ahead and install that. So you put it in there, get it started. Obviously clockwise was undoing it, so anti-clockwise I'll be threading it back in. Just get it started all the way by hand, make sure it's not cross-threaded. So when it stops moving like so, you can get your tool again, just snug that down. And tighten it up. See, this is 50 Newton meters torque on the bottom bracket, so torque up to 50 Newton meters. Now I know some people won't have a torque wrench that goes up to 50 Newton meters unless you've got a big torque wrench. So obviously 50 Newton meters is tight, so just do it with a ratchet on there or your bar and just nip it up and snug it down. If you've got a torque wrench, then torque it up to 50 Newton meters like I will be doing, but many people haven't got one that go that high. So what I'll do now that's fitted, move round, we'll do the non-drive side. Right, so here we are on the non-drive side. So all I'll do, I've already greased in there anyway, so I'll just put some grease around the threads on the cup, liberal amount on there, and then just grease down inside there, inside the cup, like so. And then this is the non-drive side, so this is just a normal clockwise for doing it up. So again, start it off by hand, make sure it's not cross-threaded, and just do that up until it stops moving. Should go in nice and clean and easy. The threads are all good. Should be able to do it like all the way in by hand nearly. So there you go. Then we just finish that off with the tool again. Like so. I'm tying that down. And there's your bottom bracket reinstalled, so we go ahead and put the chain set back in. Right, so before we go ahead and refit the cranks, and now I've got them cleaned up, what you can do is put a bit of grease, a light smear over the thread there, like so, and then you can screw back on your bearing adjuster there. So screw that back in place, just wind it all the way in, like so. Then what you want to do is go ahead and grease where the bearing's going to sit there, like so. Liberal amount of grease on that, and then grease the end, same there. The bearing's going to sit again. Then also grease the splines on the end there, around the end. Grease those up. And just put some grease in the thread on the end there, like so. So that's that done. And then what you want to do is also just put a bit of grease with a paintbrush just in the end there on the thread, like so, and just around the splines in there, like so. So we're ready to go ahead and reinstall that now. Right, so we're ready to go and reinstall the crank again. So I'm starting on the non-drive side. So all I'll do is, now it's greased up, is slide it through, and all I've done is just put a bit of grease around and just run my finger around in the inside of here, just put a bit of grease on there as well, just to help it when you're sliding it through. So just get it in place like so, and push it through all the way till it stops, like so. So I'll do the chainring side, drive side now. Right, so here we are on a chainring side. Now make sure this side that you've still got plenty of grease around your splines on here. If you haven't, then top it up again, like so. And then what you want to do is get your 8mm hex head again. So you put it the opposite way to the other opposite side. Now, if you had any spacers, remember which combination of spacers you had. Now you may well have had, you could have had a spacer behind the bottom bracket cup as well, and then you might have had a spacer on here as well, in between the chainring and the actual bottom bracket cup. So just remember what spacers you had on yours, because it may differ from bike to bike. Like I say, this one, there's a spacer there, 4.5mm spacer on there. So I'll just put that back on first, like so. Just sit that in there, this little groove just sits in, like so. And then with the actual chainring itself in the arm, just put it opposite to the other side. And then what you want to do is, it won't actually slide over there, it just sits on the end, and as you turn the hex head it pulls it on. So just got to get it sat so as it's going to pull it on, like so, and it just sits on the end. It won't actually go on until you start threading it in, and as you start threading it, it just pulls it on. So you just keep going by hand, just hold the crank arm until you stop by hand, like so. And then what you need to do is get your torque wrench or a bar. If you haven't got a torque wrench, it'll do 54 newton meters on this side. So get your bar in place again and just tighten it up, hold the crank arm at the same time, then just tighten that up. If you've got a torque wrench, then torque it up to 54 newton meters. So once you tighten that up, I'll go back around to the non-drive side and just show you how to adjust the bearing. Right, so we're back on the non-drive side here, and as you can see, you've got your adjustment ring in there. Now, if you can see that, I'll just zoom in on it so you can see it better. You've got a plus and an arrow there. Now, obviously when it was fitted back in, it's wound all the way anti-clockwise back towards the crank arm. Now all we do to adjust it is wind it back towards the cup, so that's clockwise. Just turn it there until it stops, like so. That's all you got to do, till it stops moving. That's enough. And then if you turn it round, find your 2mm hex head again. All you do is tighten that down, like so. Just nip it up, like that, and that's the bearing set. So as you haven't put too much load on them, there's no point in tightening that right in, keep on tightening it. All you're doing is putting too much load on the bearings, just literally tighten it until it stops moving, and then nip up your 2mm hex head. Right, so we got the chain reinstalled again there, so that's the installation complete. Right, so there's steps complete for you, so you should be able to complete the job at home yourself. So if you found the video helpful, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till next one, ride safe and I'll see you then.